friends, it's Miss Kirk. I wanted to reach out to you about this week, October the 19th, and we've extended it to the 30th. So, what's coming up? The first thing we wanted to do is review a couple of basic expectations. Of course, by now you know that virtual hours are 8:30 to 3:30, so please plan ahead to avoid being caught or locked out over the weekend or overnight. Of course, those Google Meets are mandatory, and there's a school-wide schedule for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday meets, so there should not be any overlap. If you are having an overlap, please feel free to reach out to me, send an email, let me know what the other meets are, and we'll try to figure out what's going on with that schedule. Grades are entered into PowerSchool on a weekly basis. In case you wanted to check and find out if your grades have been updated in your class, just scroll all the way to the bottom at PowerSchool, and you should see the date for grades last updated. If you are not able to access PowerSchool as a guardian or as a student, please send an email to beverly.morrow@k12.org, and we'll get you hooked up with that information. Your Apex activities are always scheduled out for you on Google Classroom. And then, of course, on Thursdays, we are doing the check-ins with all students on the HHS Virtual Learning page at 1:30 or 3 o'clock. So if your child has any questions, they're more than welcome to do that. With the weekly parent newsletter, there is a link down there for you so you can schedule a parent conference time. Students may also schedule a conference time, even if the parent's not going to be a part of it, but if they have a question about anything with their schedule or anything at all. Many students are asking about how the grade is determined, just like every other course. It is quarter one, 40%, quarter two is 40%, and then this is not a state tested class, so it is a semester exam at 20%. That total grade comes from a variety of resources being used, some of which might include Apex writing courses, reading courses, the English courses, No Red Ink and Read Theory, additional practice as needed, platforms that are specific to their course and content, of course, blogs and journal entries, and then projects and mini projects. Just kind of a review out there, that weekly No Red Ink, we talked about this with the students in those Google Meets. All of their No Red Ink has been scheduled for the entire quarter. So if your child chooses to work ahead, that's completely and totally okay. There is a difference in the date in PowerSchool versus the date in No Red Ink. The reason is because the PowerSchool date is the date the assignment is due. The date that is given on No Red Ink, so for example here, the growth for MLA October 30th, that's the last day that the late work is accepted. If your child has not done the assignment within that date, that puts it about a week past its original due date, it will disappear from the No Red Ink list, and that assignment will be a 0. There are 4 individualized lessons for each student that are on there. A 5th one is there for extra credit if chosen. Of course, we are also continuing our work with Read Theory. Please reach out to your child. Ask them to log in and show you their data. If you notice on this image over on the red circle, there are a couple of icons. That will give you your child's grade level, their Lexile level, their reading comprehension scores. It'll let you see the number of activities they've done, the knowledge points they've gained, and their scores on every single one. If they scroll down to the bottom of that data report, they'll be able to see the exact standards. Green means go, you're great. Red means we've got some struggles and we need to work on this area a little bit more. That's a great tool to have because it lets you know where your child is in terms of their grade level performance and specific standards. With quarter two, we are making a couple of changes. Of course, we spent quarter one and the last week of quarter two going through and trying to reach out to the students, doing some grade reflections, some learning reflections, and figuring out where they are. A couple of students have said, I feel like I'm not really getting everything. Apex is not really doing the right thing. It doesn't seem like it's AP. Well, that's because it does not meet College Board expectations alone. That's why we're using so many other platforms. We have had many students say they feel like they need more instruction, that a 20 to 30 minute Google Meet once a week is not enough to help them to understand the material and feel like they are prepared for the AP exam. So students then moved into a Google form where everyone could report the dates and times that they're available, and we're going to try to bring in an additional Google Meet so that we can make sure that our students are meeting the expectation, but also that they feel confident in the skills they have. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns at any time, it is advised that students do reach out to me. You can schedule a meeting. You can email me directly, stephanie.kirk@bluntk12.org, or you can call. My direct line is 980-1138. I might call you from that number too at some point in time, and although it does show up as spam, I assure you it's just me calling from my classroom. With the AP curriculum, you may have noticed that our outlines are including a very specific homework breakdown. That's intentional because in the classroom, your student would have about 74 minutes a day. With the current standards from our governor, we're looking at 60 minutes per day. So that's about an hour and a half shortened in terms of processing that college level curriculum and transitioning from the high school level skills and mastery up to that college level skill and mastery. So I've also on that weekly plan clearly identified what that homework is and a recommended number of minutes based on that. For right now, Q2, those homework activities are going to be the videos from College Board about the specific skills that need to be addressed moving forward. Okay, so what does it look like in AP Lit? Well, we already started this week going through and kind of talking about that new structure. So Monday and Tuesday are kind of activities they could do on their own, which will set them up for success on Wednesday when we have our Google Meet. So this is kind of where we're looking at transitioning so that instead of getting your assignments on Friday and not having that instructional meet until Wednesday, we've kind of made that modification. So your student actually already has plans through the 30th. And we went over this in that Google Meet to just kind of help them out and make sure it's ready. So notice when we look at it, we've got those Apex writing activities. We've built in the Apex Lit activities. They're looking at Streetcar Named Desire. Now with Apex, it does say that that's a single lesson. But when I look at it, I feel like what is intended for Thursday's lesson really does need 2 days. So Friday is to continue with Thursday. The same thing happens for next week. What Apex identifies as a single day really should be 2 days. So you'll notice that next week, when you look at it, it says to continue Monday's lesson. So Monday and Tuesdays there as well. They also have over the weekend. So if the student chooses to work ahead, they're more than welcome to work over the weekend on those activities. So on Thursday, you'll note that first breakdown with the homework activity and the video notes. The students do have a form for taking notes on those videos on Google Classroom, so they can do that. And then, of course, they'll turn in all of the video notes for Unit 1 once they have finished that unit, and then we'll move into kind of where we're going. So looking at next week, they already have that outline, but Wednesday in our Google Meet, we're going to build in a little bit more of that instruction, looking at Frankenstein. So that's super exciting, and moving forward with our study in Frankenstein. And then after that, what we will do is your students gave a reflection at the end of Q1, and they did a reflection at the beginning of Q2. And in that time, 100% of the students said they felt like a 20 to 30 minute Google Meet per week is not good enough to help them prepare for the AP exam. Now, I actually agree with that. And so what we're going to do is all students did a Google form where they were able to put what days and times they had required Google Meets. And I'm hoping to be able to look and find a date and time that works, that we can build in an extra Google Meet during the week so we can make sure that they are available. Of course, if they do have individual questions, they're welcome to meet in on that check-in time and look at it on Thursdays at 1:30 or 3 o'clock. Of course, they can also schedule a meeting with me directly using the link in the weekly email newsletter, and they can reach out by phone, 980-1138. If you have any questions at all, I'm here for you. We're going to work together and make sure you get the college credit you want on this AP exam. Again, Stephanie Kirk at bluntk12.org. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.